Hey,
Hey, how are you?
I am under the weather. I'm feeling persnickety, and I am ready to press your buttons.
Oh, you're gonna press my
I'm
buttons
gonna press
today?
them. I'm gonna press your buttons.
Hold on for 1 sec.
So it is Wednesday. It is time again for Money Hungry. We're so grateful to have you with us. My voice is kind of non-existent, so I'm gonna have Kim do the intro today. Kim, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy Wednesday, everybody. I am ready to get the show started. So we actually have a special guest tonight, and hopefully you guys all know him. He is amazing. His content is amazing. He amazes me with his videos every single time that I watch them. Very informative, and I'm excited to have him on. So without further ado,
Hello.
Luis from How are you?
Hello. I'm happy. Oh, thank you. I did that. Sorry.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here with you and your audience. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Kim.
We're grateful to have
Thank
you.
you. So your YouTube channel is Delivery TV,
Yes.
and why don't you tell us about yourself, about your YouTube channel, so all these fantastic people get to know you.
Well, I'm Luis Berti. I have a YouTube channel, as you mentioned. It's called Delivery TV. It's in Spanish. Everything is in Spanish. I started doing the channel 4 years, almost 4 years ago, because I was delivering an order. I'm a videographer. I was doing videos for companies, marketing videos, but I wasn't getting enough money, and we are money hungry. So I started doing deliveries. And one night, I was delivering an order, and the customer throw me a dog, a pit bull dog, and I was like really scared. I ran to my car. I went to my car. I was with my order. I was scared, and I thought, Jesus, this is how many people is suffering from this type of situation. So I thought about telling the story and sharing the story on YouTube. I did, and that was 4 years ago, and people start to watch the channel, and it's been amazing for me.
So I am fascinated with the way that you put your videos together. I do not speak a word of Spanish, and yet I've watched several of your videos all the way through because you're so engaging. Your mannerisms, your editing, everything about the way you do your videos,
Thank
excuse
you.
me, is just incredible. And I'd love it privately if you'd show me your retention rates because I bet they're through the roof. Guys, seriously, check them out. Where can people find you?
Well, I start with the YouTube channel. Is Delivery TV. If you speak Spanish, it will be great. If you don't, I'm trying to work in the subtitle thing. But I also have Instagram, Delivery.tv, also the TikTok, Delivery.tv. I don't dance over there yet, but you can find me over there. And now we're working in this new project called Geek Radio. We
Okay.
already have an app, and we're working on it. So people, because I realized that the community wanted to share stories like Harvey Campbell did once,
Mhm.
and I thought, let's do a radio, and we're working on it. You will know about that, and maybe you can invite me so I can launch the radio here.
That would be great.
That's
So,
awesome.
Luis, which apps are you on?
Well, I use delivery apps. Usually use, of course, DoorDash,
Mhm.
Uber Eats, Grubhub, and sometimes Spark Driver. But Spark Driver is tough right now with different situations that we are suffering, and we
Mhm.
can talk about that later. But yeah, those are the apps like I really do. I don't do Instacart. I don't do RideShare. I did RideShare one time, and it was a thing.
It was a thing. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you've got several years of experience. I think you and Kim are pretty closely matched there, right?
Yeah, I started in 2018 delivering. So yeah, I think we started around the same time.
Okay. All right. So I was around 2019, early 2019. So Actually, I might be somewhere around there. But for the sake of not doing math live and embarrassing myself, we'll go with that. So we've got
yourself.
right. We've got quite an interesting, pardon me, quite an interesting show for you tonight. Actually, we have a slide for Luis. Why don't we go ahead and put that up? We forgot to put that up.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
good. I love it.
So
Beautiful.
we are very grateful to have you with us. So we had talked about Uber lowering base pay a couple of weeks ago, and the offer that we saw then was insulting. But this is a new low.
This is crazy to me. So this isn't just one post that we found. I actually found several throughout Reddit and also Facebook of people posting the 16 cents as a base pay. So whether it is a glitch or whether it's an actuality, if it is real, then I have a huge issue with Uber having a base pay of 16 cents. We're literally working for tips and that's it.
What I think over there, and I'm not sure, and you can correct me, is that is a stack order. It's not only one, it's maybe 3 or 2. It might be.
Yeah, on this particular order, this was a single.
Wow. That's a
Yeah,
problem.
that is a problem. So
Yeah.
now, of course, there's the possibility that this is some sort of a glitch. Kim and I both found several orders like this, and so far, Uber has not come through and said that this is a mistake. Now they have been having issues where they're not showing the points that you get after each trip, and those are being corrected later. But this so far has not been corrected, and Uber has remained silent.
I remember the glitch of DoorDash a couple of years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, where just we saw the orders of $0, but it was 0. Having cents there, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, so we've been seeing Uber play this game with base pay where you pick up from the same restaurant one day and deliver to the same customer. One day you might get $3, and the next day you might get $1.85 in base pay. And there doesn't seem to be a rhyme nor reason as to why some days we're getting more than other days. So in the documentation on base pay for all of the big apps, they always have some sort of information like base pay is calculated based on desirability, so on and so forth. But in my personal experience, I've seen lower base pays during more desirable or less desirable times. So higher base pays, lower desirable times. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to me why we're seeing this.
But it's too low yet. Still, it's too low.
So,
And I was talking about the double and the stack orders because that is a big issue that we are having right now. Uber is sending double orders and stack orders, and in the end, they don't pay more each order. They pay one order, like the amount of one order, and divide it in 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And that is mean.
Yeah.
That is, yeah.
Well, this is me. 16 cents is absolutely ridiculous.
So I have an additional problem with this. So we accept the order, right? So I remember when I first started driving for Uber, they did it the Postmates way, and you couldn't see the tip. It was only the base pay and the mileage. And fortunately, they've started being a little more transparent. And in most markets, well, everywhere in the States now, you can see the most of the tip prior to accepting the order. Now, my problem is that they still allow customers to tip bait on top of only paying 16 cents. So like, let's say you accept that order and it shows you're going to make $10, right? And let's say $10.16. So you accept that order expecting to get $10.16, but then you get shafted by a customer after they tip bait you, and you just spent a bunch of time and you wasted your own gas, drove your car into the ground for 16 cents. I want to know what Uber's justification is for that. I mean, that's practically slave labor.
God, can
Yes.
you imagine if you were tip baited on something like this? I would be heated as a driver knowing that when I did a pickup, I did a drop off expecting whatever
Mhm.
tip, even if it's $3, like money is money. And no, like that's like, this is just absolutely insanely wrong because at that point, we are working for tips. And if you take a tip away, we're working for free.
So
And we
yeah. Sorry,
and we,
go ahead.
and we pay taxes, right? We
We
need
do.
transparency because we pay taxes. So if we pay taxes, I mean, show me the money,
Yeah.
right? Show me the complete amount because I deserve it because I'm gonna pay taxes. So if I mean, it's my business. I'm an independent contractor.
Yeah.
You're not going to talk with the plumber and you're gonna uh, tell him, well, I'm gonna pay you maybe
Yeah. You
maybe
might get
1,000
paid.
or maybe 500. He won't
Right.
do the job, right?
Yep.
Hmm. Hmm.
So now this sparks another interesting question for me personally. If customers are still able to tip bait, and if Uber is basically having us work for tips, then what is the motivation for Uber drivers, for Uber Eats drivers to work the platform, get those orders picked up, and get them delivered?
There
And
is
my personal perspective is this is going to lead to more driver fraud. Drivers are going to be like, well, I'm not going to get paid shit for this anyway, so I'm just going to go, I'm going to accept the order, pick it up, and not deliver it.
Yeah, a lot of
Support.
times,
Sorry,
say a
sorry.
lot of times, no, it's okay. A lot of times people do things for desperate measures, and like this would actually be one of those times. You get enough disgruntled people, they start doing desperate things because they're so disgruntled against the pay that they're doing. And not only that, I don't know about you guys, but in my area, I know Zach, you have a really good Uber Eats area. I
I
do
do.
not. I cannot tell you the last time I saw a Peak Pay, a Quest, like no, well, I should say
Mm.
Quest, not Peak Pay, but I can't tell you the last time I saw a Quest or even a Surge in my area. Like those don't even exist anymore. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so those never were really a thing in my market. I saw the map light up maybe once or twice during the lockdowns, and that was pretty much it. But the the Uber pay in my market versus DoorDash, even with the games, is usually about at least 25% higher than the average DoorDash order. I've actually like sat there and, like a geek, written down all the pay, and I've actually calculated this a couple of times. So now when Uber starts lowering base pay to the point where people are working for free, at what point are they going to start charging drivers to use the platform?
Oh,
Good
God, can you
point.
imagine?
Hmm.
I mean, like look at other online businesses, right? Like eBay, Poshmark, Etsy, stuff like that, right? You have to pay them fees as a seller. What is to stop Uber from being like, "Hey, we're going to source all of this work for you, and you're going to
Then
pay us for access to the platform"?
then they would lose a lot of drivers because they would lose me as a driver. There's no way I am paying a company to work for them and take money out of my profits that they're not even giving me to begin with. Like they would literally lose me as a driver. I wouldn't do Uber Eats any longer.
Kim, can you lower your mic?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I saw an article and I spoke about that in my channel a couple of weeks ago. We called and let me say hello to Sergio. I read him on the messages, and to Harry, and top delivery driver is connected to part of my community. Well,
Nice.
I read this article of Sergio and it was amazing, and I decided to share it. And the article was about gamification and gamplification of the gig economy,
Mhm.
all those colors, diamonds and stuff that it's like you feel like you need to earn and win, like you're playing PlayStation or something. And you talk about motivation for
Mhm.
people. I think we have three components here. The first one is the cherry picking hope. The other thing is past experience. Well, it's gonna get better, right? And the third is the cherry picking hope, the past experience, and the gamification and gamification, and all these top dasher, premiere, and all these promises of the apps keep people moving. But I think that spaces like this, like my channel, um, are made to open the eyes of people, and not complaining about the gig work, because I heard people saying, well, stop doing deliveries. No, it's not about that. It's about knowing and working, knowing that,
Mhm.
and try to take advantages of all the situation and all the opportunities in the streets.
Yeah,
These
just
opportunities exist for us and the people who know how to milk those opportunities. So it
yeah.
can go
So
completely in the opposite direction for drivers who don't take the time to learn their markets, the apps, the do's and don'ts. You know, if you approach it with an employee mentality, then it's not going to go well for you. In the vast majority of cases, you might get lucky, you know, here and there, and the sun shines on a dog's ass, you know, occasionally, right? But at the end of the day, if you treat it like an employee, then you're not going to get rewarded. So, you know, that's just my perspective on it.
just real quick, Thomas said Sergio, Kim, and Zach know your worth, and it's so true. Sense is not your worth as a delivery driver. Like your time and your gas and your wear and your tear is
Mhm.
10 times more knowing your worth than like these pennies that came out of this order. Granted that provided this came back, like the customer did majority of the work in getting the driver to their house. And this kind of also goes back to do the the transparency between driver and customer. Do they know that the driver, this is what they're getting paid? No, the customer doesn't know that, and it can become a customer service issue altogether all in itself.
So one more thing that I want to touch on before we move on from this subject. When Uber starts messing with something, I'll use the hiding the upfront information as an example. They tried that in, you know, only a small handful of markets initially, and their support was telling people that this was a glitch originally, and slowly over time we saw the information being hidden in more and more markets, and now all of a sudden it's no longer a glitch and it's accept 7 out of 10 orders. So how long is it before we start seeing this massive rollout where you're seeing 10, 15, 20 cents in base pay on Uber Eats?
It's just crazy. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next topic. So next one up is
Hmm.
beware of dog. And we all love our friendly pets and our friendly creatures. And I think this is all we can all relate to as delivery drivers. So the question goes out to everybody. How often, or have you ever had an experience with a dog that the customer had let their dog out and you didn't know until you walked up, or a dog got let out as you were trying to make a delivery? So leave it in the chat right now. I'm curious if you guys have any stories, because I'm pretty sure I know I have my own stories, just because I feel like it happens like once a week for me. What about you guys?
Thought I was going to get charged by a goat once.
A goat?
A goat, yeah. I had a goat like lining me up, like looking like it was ready to ram me in the balls. It was, yeah, it was sketchy. Lot of farms. Pardon me.
So
Still
was
Well,
working on that cold.
delivery TV began with because of a dog.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we started the channel because of that situation.
So I've gotten chased once. I've gotten chased once. That's about as sketchy as it got. And fortunately, it was a case where the dog was kind of coming around the side of the house as I was halfway back to the car. So I heard the dog barking or something. I turned around, and I was quickly able to book it back to the car and get in before Boof Boof the Ferocious bit me in the ass. So
So before I go into my story, which I'll tell, I actually have two. So we found these on I think it was Reddit and Facebook. I was going back and forth, but one instruction, it was handed to me customer and says, I have a 9-month-old German Shepherd that would like to continue socializing if you're willing to meet him. He does love people. If you're unwilling for any reason, feel free to let me know. So then there was another one that says, okay, so I've made a couple of Dollar General deliveries to this location. Even each time the dog is in the window barking, going crazy, and trying to eat me alive through the glass. So I placed the order at the door as instructed, and as I'm taking the picture, look what happens. And it's a picture of the dog that's right there. The door opens, and here comes the dog. What do you think happened next? So, and then there was one last one, and this was actually a Spark delivery. And I was doing a no contact delivery, delivering to the side door like customer asked. Well, the dog comes up and was pretty friendly. I walk back to the car, and as I'm about to pull out of the driveway, the dog goes into the groceries, and the rest of it actually goes to say that he started eating the lunch meat that was in the delivery from Walmart. So,
Did the
you know,
customer took the tip?
actually,
good question.
I think she did say that, she was afraid that the customer was gonna pull her tip. So,
I want to highlight a comment here. Can we pull up Nicole's comment from 520?
yep.
Thank you. So I got bit in the butt cheek by a chihuahua, hurt for weeks. I'm curious how that happened.
Oh my goodness. See, that's
Maybe
like
she's a
one of
smart girl. Maybe.
So I personally, I love dogs. I grew up on dogs. I love going to doors where there are friendly dogs. If they say that they're friendly, and you can go out and you can pet them, and there's nothing better than petting a dog. But I had two instances where there was one time where a dog was out, and I actually made the delivery and I didn't see the dog, and I was walking back to the car. The dog was sitting literally right by my car door. And I'm like, oh, and he was so cute. He came up and he was, I was petting him. I'm like, okay, you have to go back now. And then he literally just stood in front of my car door and wouldn't let me in. So at that point, I completed the delivery, so I didn't have the number to the customer. So I had to go back, like knocking on their door saying, your dog won't let me leave. And they finally had to come out and get their dog. So, I mean, cutest dog ever. But I'm like, I was on my way to doing another delivery. I'm like, I really gotta go. And then there's another time where I pulled up to a McMansion. And thank God my husband was actually with me in the car doing the delivery, and he's beeping his horn like nonstop. And I'm like, why is he beeping his horn? I don't know. I'm doing a delivery. I look, and there was two pit bulls that I didn't see that were in their yard that were literally coming to me. And he just didn't know whether they were friendly or not. And they were friendly, but you just never know if some dogs are going to be friendly or not. I think that's kind of the biggest issue with a lot of deliveries that we do.
I hid from a raccoon once.
Mm.
Yeah, I was driving out. I was driving out to this kind of rural community, a lot of trees and stuff, and excuse me. There was a raccoon just chilling out there, and the homeowner who I was delivering to was actually out, but he had like a really long driveway, and was out, further back in the driveway working on his truck or something. And so I just rolled the window down. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna get out in a minute, but Randy the raccoon is hanging out. And he's like, oh, he's back, is he? So the guy was just cool with me, hanging out in the car for a minute. So I have a way that I handle loose pets, and this is such a delivery driver and mailman problem, right? If we do this long enough, we're all gonna run into this scenario. And if there's a dog out, I don't see any harm in calling your customer and just being like, hey, is it friendly? We're all going to eventually come up on a dog. I had a dog come busting out of a screen once who was not friendly, but the owner was right there. I was like working on dropping the order off and getting a picture, and the dog had jumped up on the screen, but it wasn't like fully latched, and it came like, I'm like, yeah, it was.
The thing is that sometimes you just don't know if a dog is gonna come out. One time well, here's the thing. I received this order once, and it says in the instructions, it says, "Do not knock, baby is sleeping." Okay, I won't knock, but I went to the house, and when I was delivering the order, like 500 dogs start barking like wah, 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 wah. And I was like, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, the babies can still listen to the dogs. The other thing is what to do in the case, for example, the Chihuahua. I mean, it's a Chihuahua, it might be funny, but in the end, the dog bit you. So you have to do something. Security. I received a call a couple of weeks ago from a member of the audience. She was bit by a huge dog. She went to the hospital. It was a mess. I will share that story in the channel, and we learned from that situation that the first thing that you have to do is, of course, put yourself in a safe environment. Go to your car. First of all, protect yourself, but then you have to keep the order open, because if you call Uber or DoorDash, I mean, how do you prove that it was while you were doing the order? That is one thing. The other thing is you have to call 911, because you gotta have a police report, and that is gonna help you even with the doctor. So you got to know what to do in those type of situations.
It's really good advice. Yeah, that's true, because if you don't mark it delivered, then yeah, that makes perfect sense. Uber can be like, oh, how do we know it was on, well, it was on delivery.
That's what gets me a lot of times about some of these deliveries with dogs being left out. Like, aren't homeowners like afraid? Like, you never know. Even they could be like the most friendliest dog, they might get a vibe from you and not vibe with you. And God forbid a dog bites their delivery driver. Aren't they even afraid that like we're gonna sue them, or someone's gonna sue their property, or like there's so many lawsuits out there? Like, you would think people would be more cautious just based off of that. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
One thing that I've been every time I receive a call from a member of the audience that he was bit by a dog, is the same situation. Well, the owner of the dog went into the house and never went out. They didn't care about it. So it's like a pattern thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really quick, if you guys could just drop a yes or a no in the chat. Yes, if you've been chased. If you have not been chased or bit, we'll go with chased or bit. Yes or no. Leave that in the chat. Kim, I want to know if there's anything worse than getting chased by a dog and getting a insultingly low delivery on top of it.
I think an insulting low no tip or no tip is sometimes worse. Depends on the wound.
So can a no tip order on DoorDash be a high paying order? Luis, what do you think?
No tip? No, I don't think so. No tip, high pay? No. Well, it shouldn't. It shouldn't.
Let's take a look at the next screenshot
Yeah,
here, Kim.
it shouldn't. It shouldn't.
It shouldn't. So for those of you who are listening as opposed to
It's a miracle. It's a miracle.
what we're looking at here is a DoorDash order summary. It paid a whopping $4 in base pay with no customer tip, and this order was marked as high paying.
That's crazy.
So Kim, how's that diamond program working out for you?
The diamond program works out fantastic for me.
Clearly not for everybody.
Clearly not for everybody. Do I think that this should be a diamond? No, I don't think that any order that has a no tip behind it, even if DoorDash raises the base pay, should be a diamond or a high priority order. That's just my own opinion on that. Like something like this, and I'm pretty sure, just before, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm pretty sure with DoorDash, it's an algorithm thing. It's a dollar per mile ratio. So as long as it's $2 per mile, it flags it as a diamond. So I think the algorithm said, hey, $4, 1 mile or 2 miles, it's a diamond, not realizing that, hey, there's other circumstances that this should not be a priority order.
So to clarify, that's the way the program started. When it was first being piloted, they were going for $2 a mile, anything above $2 a mile, specifically from the restaurant to the customer, not from you to the restaurant to the customer, from the restaurant to the customer only. anything that was $2 a mile would get marked as high paying. So in theory, you could see a $2.75 order, as a high paying order. But, Kim, like, I'm going to pick on you here because like, this is bullshit. This is what is the motivation for somebody to be a top dasher? Well, okay, I know the answer to that question. I'm not giving you the win on that one. Sorry. What is the motivation? What is the motivation for somebody to have a 50% acceptance rate and be in the diamond program when they're just still going to get trashed like that?
Well, I'm going to think about it though from a different perspective. So bear with me, and I know you're not going to agree with me on this whatsoever. If you are starting out first thing in the morning, and at least in my area, mornings are slow. I don't like to sit around and wait. We've already established that. And this comes in for $4 for 1 mile. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to take it because it is a profitable order. It ends up being more than $2 per mile. So from the profitability standpoint, I would take it first thing in the morning based off of there's no orders coming in. I would rather make some money more than no money. And it is profitable even if the customer didn't tip.
Yeah, however, it also wraps up your time, so you're not
What do you mean?
available to
If it's a 1 mile order, it's going to take me 5 to 10 minutes to do and go around and make my other money.
Yeah, but
So
what if a true high-paying order
Depending of the drive-through, maybe it's a long line, maybe.
Yeah, not in the morning.
Well, it depends. I have a message for Tony Sue because of this order. I have a message for him, if you allow me. Tony, from the behind. That's it. That's all.
Okay, I totally didn't see that one
I
coming.
didn't see that coming either. Straight out of one of my videos.
I love you, Tony.
So, Luis, what's your average acceptance rate on DoorDash if you had to guess?
0.
0.
Not
Yeah.
10%. Yeah, I live in an area in my city that I don't see. Well, this is funny. I was living in this area and I moved like 5 months ago to another, and my main income came from DoorDash. And when I moved the same city, when I moved to this new area, it was Uber.
Mm-hmm.
Now my primarily app is Uber. Pay more money with the tips in the end of every order pays more. So yeah, I lost the train of thoughts, but yeah.
Okay,
Uber.
so your acceptance rate is usually 10% or lower.
Let me go check.
Okay, so you're kind of in line with me then. So, but Kim, back to picking on you. So what?
Pick
I mean,
away.
again, so you are tying up your time, right? So DoorDash claims. By the way,
Why am I tying up? Wait. Why am I tying up my
Because-
time if I
because
am
you're
making
accepting
money?
that garbage.
But I'm
No,
making
because
money.
That's how you do it right there, people. That is how you be a good
Thank
DoorDash
you.
driver.
Thank you.
This man deserves an award.
You don't have to. Thank you.
No.
So now he is leading by example right there. Actually, you know what? Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull mine up here too, and we're gonna take a look at that. But Kim, you're wasting your time, right? Because if you're actually getting
my time, if I'm
but
actually
because
making
if you're
money.
because if you're actually getting the perceived reward, where you're actually getting priority in a high traffic market, it should, in theory, just be a matter of waiting a couple of extra minutes to actually get an order that is worth a damn for the driver.
No.
And what
Yeah,
if you
how
take
not?
out the diamond of the order and you don't have
So
the
I'm
diamond?
going to
That
play
changes
devil's advocate for a second, though. Say DoorDash kept raising the base pay, even on this one, to $5. You're telling me you wouldn't do a $5 order for 1 mile, knowing that it's like McDonald's, you can get in, get out. It's 5 minutes down the road and you're done and you can get $5?
If we're talking, it's like 8 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday or Wednesday, I might take a $1. But did you say McDonald's?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, whatever
No
the
chance in
quickest
hell.
restaurant. Well, in my area, McDonald's, it's fantastic and wonderful, and they know me by name, and I'm the mayor of McDonald's.
Ooh. Oh. Nice. Beautiful. Let me
So-
see yours. Kim,
I don't know if you can see it.
89.
Oh.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So
Interesting. That's interesting.
okay. So obviously, Luis and I have a different experience in our market than you do in yours. So
That
it sounds like
depends of the
And
market as well. Yeah,
that's
it
what I'm
depends.
saying. Like, not every market is going to be a fantastic Uber Eats market. Not every market's going to be a fantastic McDonald's market.
I'm
It
agree.
really is market specific. And you need, as a driver, to find out what app works best in your own area. I can't tell you what that is because I'm not in your market, but it takes a lot of experimenting, taking orders that you might not want to take, taking orders that you want to take, and really figuring out how restaurants work in your area before you say anything.
And you have fans, Kim. I've been reading the messages and the comments, and a bunch of people agree. I agree with you. So
yeah, there's definitely people who see it both ways for sure. But I think something that we can all agree on, and watching your videos, I know that you multi-app too.
mhm.
So at the end of the day, and this again, Kim, I'm gonna serve that ball right back to you.
No.
If we're multi-apping, if we have 10 apps, we shouldn't have to be taking a high-paying order for $4. I mean, come on, that's a freaking insult.
But if you're trying to maintain the 70% AR, you are going to because it's still a profitable order.
I see it completely different.
See, I don't.
I mean, we've kind of already, hashed this, but if you're having to take a $4 order for the privilege of taking more $4 orders whenever you want, then it's not really a perk, is it?
But what's
It
the
is not.
difference about whether you say you can get 4 or 5 $5 orders done in an hour because they take you 5 to 10 minutes to do? It's still $25 an hour versus waiting around for that one order that might get you $25 an hour. Or you can get a large order program that pays you $20 an hour, do a quick $5 add on, and you still get $25 an hour. It just depends on how you kind of look at it, and perception is sometimes reality.
So, well, okay, perception is definitely not reality, but if your math makes sense for you to do those orders, because you have to have what I think it's 100 orders a month on DoorDash
Good one.
for large order program, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if the math makes sense for you and you're making up the money in the large order program, then do your thing. But for me, and I'm willing to bet the majority of drivers, the math isn't going to make sense in their market. So
It's better than 18 cents base pay.
Definitely. But yeah, but
okay.
Boom.
the thing is that, like, I go back to the what type of market do you live? Because if you live in a market where you don't see $8, $7, $6 orders all the time, well, maybe a $4 1 mile it might be. But if I know that in my market, and if I know that in my market I can see $8, $10 orders, 5 miles, 4 miles, 2 miles,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do a $4. It depends of the market, of course. And if there's something, by the way, if there's something that I want you to learn today in Spanish, is a sentence. I don't want to go without you to be, but I am going to wait for Zach. But there's a sentence that you have to learn today because you also have Hispanic customers.
Mhm.
So you have to learn this. The sentence is really easy. It says like this. It goes like this. Sin propina. Repeat it with me. Sin propina.
Impropina.
Simpleropina?
No hay viaje.
No
No,
viaje.
No
No
hay
hay
viaje.
viaje.
No trip, no tip. No tip, no trip.
I love it.
That's a good one.
So, all right.
I
Kim,
am going to ask that one again later.
okay,
practice.
run us through it one more time. Say it one more time fast.
Sin propina no hay viaje.
Simplepina no hay viaje.
Kim?
I probably really
No, because
effed
I don't
that
believe
up.
in no tip, no trip. So we'll move on.
Oh,
You can come
tell
up
you
with
what.
a new saying for me.
I'll tell you what. Regardless of no tip, no trip, I believe in tip, no contract violation. How about that?
Mm-hmm. That is a good one. Yes.
So,
Yeah.
all
On
right.
that note, can we move on to something more positive?
I'm agree.
Yeah. Okay, let's
Okay.
do it.
Okay,
Ooh,
what
good one.
is, you're gonna have to leave it in the chat. What is the most unique non-monetary tip you've ever gotten? So leave it in the chat right now before we get into like the next topic.
Luis, you want to chime in on that?
Uh, well, I have a story of a unique tip, non monetary tip. The first tip that I received that it was really special. I went to deliver a DoorDash order. This happened like 3 years ago. I was delivering an order, and when I was delivering, it was a payway order, and I gave the order to this old lady. She came out. It was before COVID, and I gave her the order, and she asked me, "Do you have a girlfriend or a wife?" And I said,
Okay.
"Yes, yes." And
I'm
I
like,
was like, "Yes, I do. I do have a girlfriend, and I love her so much." She was a sweet old lady, but the question was interesting. And she took out a perfume and she gave it to me and she said, "Give it to your wife." I almost cried. It was so special. And then I went to Walgreens to see the price, and it was like $50.
Wow.
Yeah, I still have the perfume. My wife have the perfume around the house. She haven't opened it, but
That's
that
awesome.
was special. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Kim, what about you? Most unique. And guys, drop yours in the comment section, please.
I don't
I see
think
I see one in here that had a stripper tip me both tips. I don't
Oh,
know.
alrighty. um, I really haven't. Besides, like, I feel like there's a lot of during pandemic times, there were a lot of generous customers out there, and like they would actually leave like baskets of like snacks and water and food and stuff like that for delivery drivers, which I thought was so super nice of a lot of people. Since then, they've taken away. I haven't seen them around too often. Um, but I really haven't gotten anything out of the ordinary. Have you?
So, excuse me. I've gotten sorry guys. If you're just joining us, I am trying to fight something off. I've been sick for the last like 2 days. Yeah, I've gotten a few unique things. So, I delivered to a coffee roaster locally, and like a local coffee roaster. And on top of tipping well, because I don't take $4 orders, they also gave me a big bag of local coffee, which was
Nice.
delicious. So
Good.
my thing's a good beer and good
Mm.
coffee. Like I am a happy camper if I have those two things in front of me.
I don't drink
So,
coffee.
what?
I don't drink coffee.
Oh,
Never have.
Kim, no. What?
Mm.
Oh
But
I
my
don't.
God.
you drink wine.
I do drink wine. I drink
Good.
wine, Dr. Pepper, Coke, but coffee, I've never liked the
I,
taste of coffee ever.
Kim, I fear that you and I are going to need therapy after this episode.
So how do you
Are we
get
not going to be
in the
friends?
morning?
No, we're going to be friends. It's just going to, be that like awkward silence from time to time. Like I'm going to look over you and be like, who doesn't drink coffee?
Well,
It's
who
like
doesn't drink Dr. Pepper?
when you ask, like when you ask a person, "Do you drink alcohol?" "No, I don't." "I don't trust you."
Yeah, right. So, all right. Mine would be, yeah. So I got the coffee. I got a really bad bottle of wine once from a customer. And it was a nice gesture. It was like right before Christmas. And it was actually an Uber Eats order, and it was a double, and I was delivering his second, and it was the restaurant took forever. So I saw him coming out, and it was supposed to be a leave it at the door, and I'm thinking, ah, crap, here we go. And so he hands me this bottle of wine. He's just like, "Hey, I want you to know I appreciate what you're doing. Thank you so much." And I was just like, that is awesome. There's folks out here trying to get their delivery drivers a buzz on. So the wine gave me the worst heartburn I've ever had in my entire life, but it was still a nice gesture nonetheless. And I have also had plenty of offers to partake. I live in a college town, so that's been on the table multiple times for me as well.
Nice, nice. I'm gonna go to
So
your market to see
Right.
that a nice bottle of wine.
So,
So
yeah.
what sparked this is there was a DoorDash driver who claims that she did a delivery and walked away with a free puppy.
Nice.
So this customer said, here you go, here's a puppy. And that was her tip for the order. So she walked away with a pit bull German Shepherd mix and named it Amor.
Oh, I would
So
sell it. That
there's the true hustler mentality. So, all right, what does amor mean?
Love, isn't that what Amor means?
amor is love.
Yeah.
Where
Okay.
I don't see the British word, but I think it's love. Amor.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, how would you guys handle a situation where somebody's like, "Here, take this dog."
I wouldn't be able to take it. My daughter is highly allergic to dogs. Like,
Okay.
we can never have probably dogs ever in our household. That's how highly allergic she is.
Okay.
So as much as it would kill me because I love dogs, there's no way I would be able to bring it home. I would probably give it away because I would want it to go to a good home, because if it can't go to my home, it has to go to someone else's home.
That's
How
true.
much is a pit bull in the market today? How much? That's a good question.
I don't know.
To
I'm
know
not sure. Yeah.
the amount of, maybe in the comments, if someone can tell us how much is a pit bull.
I'm
It
sure
was a
a
pit bull, right?
purebred
Yeah.
would be hundreds, right? If not a couple
Yeah.
thousand.
Yeah,
So
something like that. So I don't receive dogs. I would sell it because in my house, the dog is me. I'm the puppy. I'm the one. So
All right.
everything around and upside down and leave hair all over. So I'm
so
the dog.
we have a video from the TikToker. So I'm gonna go ahead and play it real quick.
Oh,
Oh, it went away. Hold on.
hmm.
Try it
Puppies are
again.
like that. They come and go. So wow.
It's adorable.
So I had to edit that out to get rid of the copywritten music. You're welcome,
Mhm.
Harry. So yeah. So that actually took quite a while last night to get that clip ready. But I mean, that's a cute puppy. But I mean, who does that? Who just randomly gives somebody a puppy? Like, you don't
I
like, you want to make sure that an animal is going to a good home, right? Like, I wouldn't just fork over a cat to somebody like, "Hey, here's a cat," you know?
Mhm.
yeah.
So
What's next? Hey, here's my kid. Ha!
your problem
Can
now.
you imagine? Oh my god.
I'm living now.
So, all right. So Kim and I do this thing where we, excuse me, where we speculate on if the crap we see on TikTok is legitimate. So it's time to take a vote between us and in the chat. Did this actually happen, or did this driver just bring her dog to work with her?
Okay.
So Kim, do you
Oh,
think that it actually happened, or do you think she?
I think it
I think
happened.
this actually really happened.
Yeah, we
Okay.
see so many things in the street, so I think it did happen.
Okay. So I would want a little more context. I'm breaking my own rules here. I don't think it happened. I'm just going to throw that out there. With the information that
Okay.
I've got, I don't think it happened.
You don't
But
think
if it,
anything happens on TikTok?
oh, you should see the fight I got in on Reddit. Oh, I'll tell you about that another time though. Oh no, I mean, because TikTok is so full of crap. It's like for less talented content creators who need to make shit up to, you know, I don't know. Sorry.
Or
I don't like
you
TikTok.
are or creating or consuming. So
Yeah.
I rather be in the side of the creator.
Yeah, see, but you're a YouTuber. There's a difference there, you know. You can be a YouTuber and then be on TikTok and it's okay. But it's the I have this theory, this thing. I've had a couple brand deals come my way, and they've hired TikTokers first, and I'm like, never hire a TikToker to do a YouTuber's job. So I just don't like the platform, and
It's different, way different. Yeah.
yeah. So, but but it's a damn dog. Who gives away a dog? I can understand it. Excuse me. I can understand a goldfish, but a dog?
Did or did not? That's the question.
How would you give away a goldfish?
I'd probably take a goldfish too. Like, hey, here you go, son. I got
You
you.
couldn't you couldn't make up another pet name.
Yeah. So it sounds like we've had some interesting non-monetary tips. So are we going to see that start to slowly come to an end? And I'm not talking about just monetary tips. I'm talking about orders, period. Kind of just dropped that on you there, Kim. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Is third-party delivery on the decline? So there was an article this past week
Mhm.
that is claiming that people are moving more towards pickup since now the pandemic is over, and it's caused because of all the high fees from all of these delivery companies. People are now picking up their food more than they are getting delivered. So when I was reading this, I actually thought about us as delivery drivers. I know, a lot of our markets have slowed down. Some of it is because of summer slowdown, but is some of it because people are picking up orders opposed to getting them delivered? So what do you think?
Promos, promos for customers. Buy one get two, buy two get four. That's what I'm thinking right now, and Uber do that a lot.
So I've got a thought here. The Uber take rates. I don't know if you guys have looked at some of the order summary screens lately on Uber Eats. Their take rates are insane from the customers. Like Uber used to get maybe $2, $3, $4 at most for their Uber Eats orders. And now customers are spending sometimes up to like $20 in just fees for Uber Eats alone. And so it's not just them doing that though. We've got, DoorDash, who is they're always playing with the fees.
Mhm.
But now we've got this lawsuit where they're supposedly charging customers more for using
The
iPhones.
Yes.
Right. Thomas,
I'm going to
thank you.
interrupt you for 1 second. Thank you, Thomas. Much
Appreciate
appreciated.
you.
Thomas, thank you. Oh, it was.
Yeah, it was,
Oh, thank you, Thomas.
so
I need your sound effects.
I don't.
I can't avoid it. What? Yeah,
No,
and
you're good.
we saw in the news too that DoorDash is battling with restaurants because of the fees, because they want to charge the restaurant want to charge more because DoorDash is charging more, and in the middle of that fight, there's us, and there's the customer that decide that I'm just gonna go to the restaurant and take out the food so I can save some
Yeah.
money.
So
And the thing
to
is that sorry, Zach. The other thing is that these apps use the fees to pay us. It's incredible how they play with the fees of the customer. Something that I had this video yesterday with a member of the audience, Jesus. He made this document. This document he investigate the last month. He studied the orders of Uber, and he saw how fees are being how Uber used the fees to pay the tip, and it's crazy what's going on right now with the fees. So I don't doubt that the customers are getting tired of this.
yeah.
So
So
this is
you're
sorry. This is
so
what I have two things just real quick to say about this. First of all, when you go to get to Uber, if they're charging customers like $20 in fees and we're only getting 18 cents as a base pay, like that's a really big issue. But sorry, just one other point. I personally find myself, I can't tell you the last time I actually ordered DoorDash or Uber Eats, because if I want to order out, I've been going to the restaurants myself to pick it up because it is expensive to order from DoorDash or Uber Eats. And not only that, but a lot of restaurants now are giving you coupons or buy one, get one, or something to that effect that makes you want to go to the restaurant, not use these delivery platforms. Okay, go. Sorry.
Well, no, and that's part of my point actually is on top of the customers getting shafted in the fees, the restaurants are also paying up to 30% of the order value. So if the customer ordered $100 worth of food, that customer is potentially being charged up to $30 of that order that otherwise would have went to the restaurant. And most restaurants operate on very thin margins to begin with. Not all, but many do. So the restaurants don't have motivation to keep using these platforms because it's costing them, and not to mention the refund chargebacks, things like that. But then you've also got the customers who are like, dude, I just ordered a freaking foot long from Subway. Why did it cost me $32? So I don't think that this is going to last forever. I think eventually,
sorry, the app in the end keeps the 70% and maybe more, and we just receive less than the 30%.
yeah. And so now on top of that, we're seeing this outcry. Excuse me. I think, as content creators, we probably see this a little more than the general public does. But we're seeing this battle kind of play out between drivers and customers, where drivers are like, we're not going to take your order if you don't tip, and customers think we're entitled for not doing so. And they're paying, to their point, they're paying out the ass. They're paying, I just ordered lunch through DoorDash about a week ago. I ordered one entree and it cost me like $30 or $32 or something for something that would have cost me maybe $12 had I just went and gotten it myself. So, I mean, of course that was with a generous tip, but my point is it's expensive. So I think we're going to eventually see less and less customers ordering because they're going to be like, dude, this is just too expensive. Like I can go and save myself almost half of what I would have spent. And it's not going to really take me any longer.
And do you saw the Business Insider article where they took a tweet, I think, of the Washington Post or I don't New York Times, and they read the comments. Basically, the tweet was like, reason why customers don't tip, and customers start to respond. And Business Insider read the comments and made an article, mentioned the five reasons why customers don't tip. It's crazy. I recommend you to see the article. It's crazy. This information, customers don't have an idea of what's going on and how this works.
Yeah, it's so true. And, one thing that really resonates with me is, with all these fees and this is actually me. I would rather take the money and take my family and have like a date night with my husband and go out and have fun and have an experience, opposed to wasting money on food being delivered to my house. I don't know. I guess it's just me. Like I would rather have the experience and, waste my money that way, opposed to getting something delivered to my house. And that's kind of reversed my psychology, even now after, everything's open and, post-pandemic time.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm only going to order food if it's extremely necessary. If I can't get away from what I'm doing work-wise and it, makes sense for me financially to have it delivered instead of me taking the time away from work and going and getting it.
Yeah. So in the chat, why don't you let us know with a yes or no, have you stopped using DoorDash or Uber Eats yourself? And you're now picking up your food opposed to getting it delivered? Yes or no? Leave it in the chat right now.
Biz A Lady, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
So we want to jump into a couple of funnies.
Woohoo!
So I love this part. And Tim, I'll read off this first one.
I am going to prepare my sound.
Okay, you might need them for these. Zach, I'm sorry. I know your voice is not, but you're definitely good. You're doing the first one. Sorry, my
I can do
friend.
the first one.
That was our
All right,
deal.
and yeah, no problem. And for those of you who might have kids around, this is a good time to tell them earmuffs or something. This is not a kid-friendly one, so we got to get the littles out of here for this. All right, so this was a 7-Eleven order that was picking up on DoorDash. So the customer's name was Long D. So okay, maybe that's the person's name. No harm there. They ordered a pack of Trojan condoms. So Long D is hitting 7-Eleven for some rubbers. Now the best part of this is Long D
You ready?
happens to live on Seaman Avenue. So you know
That's
what?
a good one. That's
Even
a good
if
one.
even if he didn't get lucky, he definitely got fucked by those delivery fees.
But don't.
So sorry, I was trying to keep this one cleaner. I couldn't pass that one up.
Yeah,
You
that's
are-
actually.
you are clean.
We've got one more funny for you guys. So this is you're gonna have to look closely at this one. This is a picture that was clearly taken out of Walmart. Why wouldn't it be? In this lady's hair is a therapy rat or mouse or something.
That is a question. What is that?
Yeah, it's like,
I actually, because I looked at the picture and I'm like, what is that? So I zoomed in. I'm like, oh yeah, that definitely is a rat.
Oh my
So-
goodness.
yeah. So
The question is, does she know that she have that something there?
I
Oh God,
I'm-
can you imagine?
I
Can you
I
imagine
would
if she
hope
didn't?
so. I would hope so, but can you imagine your driver showing up? It's bad enough when drivers show up with a dog in their car, in my opinion, but can you imagine if your driver had a freaking rat or something on their shoulder or a mouse?
No,
That's
no.
Maybe
That's
it's
crazy.
a fashion trend.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Get Paris Fashion Week at Walmart.
what is that?
Only thing I can say is only at Walmart.
Oh,
God, can you imagine? Can you imagine someone like actually coming up and like tapping you on the shoulder? What do you say? Ma'am, do you realize there's like a rat in your hair? Like, would you tell someone that?
No, you're wrong. Why? I know it's not one, it's two rats. Look, this is the other one. Like,
So, Luis, for everybody who is just joining us, why don't you tell them once again where they can find you?
well, Delivery TV is my YouTube channel. We are Spanish speaking channel that we talk everything about delivery and the gig industry in Spanish. And you can find us as well in TikTok and Instagram, like as delivery.tv. At delivery.tv, that's our Instagram and TikTok. And I will be waiting for you over there. Subscribe and like. Even if you don't understand, it doesn't matter. Just subscribe.
I
They're
started
good
following you on
videos.
Instagram like 2 days ago, and I'm like, oh my God, he's just as big on Instagram as he is on YouTube.
Let me go and follow you back. I think I'm following you. I don't know. Let me go. But let me say goodbye first because I
Yeah,
see the time.
the videos that Luis puts out are incredible, and
Thank
they're eye catching. They're engaging. Your mannerisms, your editing, your presentation, everything about them just makes them worth watching. Even if I don't understand the language, I still am drawn to them. So,
Man,
and
thank you.
that is saying something. So
Thank
to
you, thank
break
you.
through a language barrier like that, you're clearly doing something right. So
Thank you,
um,
Louis. Much
we'd like to-
appreciated. And
Thank you, Sergio. I've been reading you. So thank you. You're great. You're great.
So don't inflate his ego too much.
But Kim, Zach, I was waiting for this. I'm so happy to be here, to be invited here, and I hope this is not the last time. I'm really thrilled to be invited here and be part of the community because I think that Hispanic community need the information and need to be connected to what is going on with you and with the industry. And this is for me a goal.
Yeah. There's plenty of drivers who do not speak English as a first language. And of course, it's important, for everybody to know the ins and outs. And so I think that you're doing a great service to the community as well. And we thank you for doing that. So thank you again to our special guest, Luis from Delivery TV. Guys, we will be back, same place, same time, next Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern for Money Hungry. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.